Okay, for today's video, we're going to go over a huge lot of Skylanders and other Toys to Life figures. This is going to be everything ranging from mainly Skylanders, but also at least one Amiibo, some Disney Infinity figures, and my Skylanders Youtooz that I got earlier in the year, and then testing some of the figures on Skylanders, probably Trap Team, just because I did get some figures from games after that, but I don't have Imaginators, so I can't test those yet. And also to go with that, we also got a new console that we will be able to play Skylanders and other Toys to Life games on. And you can probably guess that's one of a few because I've mentioned wanting to get a certain console, but it's not the one I think I've mentioned on this channel. We'll get to it when we get to it. But also we have a bit of a scary story actually involving picking up some of these Skylanders specifically. And then, yeah, if I didn't mention, everything in this video was picked up from December 17th of 2024 all the way to literally yesterday being February 5th, 2026. So yeah, easily over a year's worth of Skylanders pickups. And I did not plan on this video being a video that took over a year to record though. I'd planned on making this a lot video at one point because I've done a few of these style videos on the channel. I'll put a link to a few in the description or put like that thing that has the video pop up on screen right now. But yeah, we've done videos kind of like this in the past, but this is the first one that's been like over a year's worth of pickups. So it's a huge lot. Like I said, everything ranging from Skylanders, Disney Infinity, Amiibo, Youtooz, a console, and probably even more than that I forgot about. But yeah, so let's just get right into it. I'm going to try to go in order, but some of these I don't even remember exactly when I got them, but I probably have a range in which I got them. So yeah, let's just get into it right now. Okay, before we show off the first pickups, and these were the ones from December 17th and maybe like the day after that. Before we show those off, I did want to mention one other thing we are going to be showing in this video. I did do a slight little change to like the collection area that you all have seen in videos. I haven't done a full collection video yet on the channel, but the area that you all had seen me like put Skylanders on the portal, that area that had like a bunch of Skylanders figures on that table, I've changed kind of recently, so I'm going to show that off. But yeah, let's just get right into it with the first figures that I picked up. These were the December 17th, 2024. And, oh, I've actually got the receipt for the other one. Oh, December 17th as well, just later in the day. So, yeah, let's get to the first two. So these are the two that have been waiting over a year to get shown off on the channel. And these were picked up at McKay's in Nashville. So, yeah, two Skylanders, one from Giants and one from, I believe, Swap Force. So here we have Terrafin. And, yeah, this is Series 2 Terrafin. I don't believe I had Series 2 Terrafin. I have obviously the base game because I have like all the regular SSA roster. I was worried, I think at the time I was worried I either already had this figure or had his either Series 2 or Series 3. But after kind of like looking over my collection again, I believe that this is the only Terrafin figure I have right now besides Series 1. Except I might have got one after this one. But at the time, this was the only one I had outside of the Series 1. And then the other figure I got, this one is one I think I've seen in another store before, but I didn't pick up at the time, and then they sold it the next time, so I decided to get it this time, and it is Zulu, I believe. Yeah, so two Skylanders. This, like I said, these were from McKay's. I'd seen McKay's on some YouTube videos, and I finally got to go to one, and it was really cool. We actually got to go to McKay's in 2025 at the end of the year, around the same time we picked these up. But, yeah, and we picked up at least one Skylander then. So, yeah, we'll get to it in a bit, but yeah, these were the two I picked up at McKay's, and these are the two that, like I said, had been waiting the longest. But then also on December 17th, later in the day, I went to a game exchange, which I'll be honest, there's a few game exchanges closer to where I live in Kentucky, but I think McKay's is either a franchise or there's a few like across the U.S., at least like in the Kentucky, Tennessee-ish area. If anybody knows outside of those areas that there is one, please let me know. But in this McKay's, I remember, they didn't have a huge selection. I think I called them and said, hey, do you all have Skylanders or something? And I wasn't expecting much because the game exchanges around here will sometimes have stuff, but for the most part, they don't have anything crazy, it feels like, around mine at least. And occasionally they'll have some good stuff like you'll see in the later parts in this video. But this one had like some like more common, like I think Spyro's Adventure, Swap Force type of figures, like ones I already had but wasn't really looking for, obviously. But they did have these two. They had both of these. I couldn't believe it. I thought this was awesome. Yeah, the Crash Bandicoot and Neo Cortex, I believe. Yeah, the two, I think these are my first two Imaginators figures, actually, because the only other Imaginators I've seen in store are the two that come in the starter pack, and I haven't bought them because they sell really cheap, I know, and they're just pretty easy to get, so I've just not felt the need to buy them yet. And the fact, I can't play Imaginators, so I'd just rather wait till I have Imaginators before I get those. But, like, these figures, aren't ones you see every day. I don't think these are, as far as, like, Imaginators, like I can't remember what their actual term is. I think these are two of the cheaper ones, but still, I think they were, like, $3 or $4 a piece. Well, actually, I have the receipt. We can see. I know these two, the two that you all just saw on screen just a second ago, I know those two were, like, $2.99. Yeah, $2.99 each. That's crazy. Yeah, two Imaginators figures that aren't the starter pack ones for $2.99. I thought that was pretty good. Like I said, I don't think these are like the crazier priced ones. Like, I know they're not like no Wildstorm or anything, but still, $2.99 for two Imaginators. I don't know enough about Imaginators to know the exact terminology, because I know it's maybe the Imaginators are actually the crystal characters. But these aren't like the common Skylanders, but they're like the better ones. Somebody please correct me on the term, because I know I'm just missing it. I just haven't played Imaginators, so I don't really know the term. But yeah, they're two of the stronger Skylanders I know that are in the game, like that base. I don't know if these two characters specifically are, but still, really cool. And Crash, another thing that's just really cool about him, he's another one of those cooler collab Skylanders. I mean, Spyro obviously being the first one, literally the whole game, Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. And then, like Hammer Slam Bowser, and there's the Donkey Kong. But yeah, another really cool one being Crash. So yeah, now we can move on to the next ones. So yeah, let's just go on now. Oh, one thing really quick though, forgot to mention. As I said, well, I kind of mentioned this earlier in the video. Since these two are from Imaginators, I will not be able to test them in this video, but whenever we do eventually get Imaginators, we will finally test them then. I literally almost forgot one of the biggest things I wanted to talk about with these two as well. So these two are actually part of that Skylanders Scary Story thing I was going to tell you all about. I'll kind of just try to keep this brief, but I did have a little bit, like, this is definitely like the scariest thing that's happened to like IRL involving Skylanders with me. Like, I don't do like I haven't at least yet done like meeting somebody over Facebook Marketplace or something like that and having some weird deal with that. But actually, the game exchange I went in to pick these two up, I had a little bit of a weird situation with these two. And I would just love to know your all's thoughts. Maybe I'm just overthinking on this, but I don't think I've told anybody about this. But yeah, when I went to go buy these two, so I went in the game exchange, I found their little Skylander section, I grabbed these two, and right after I was paying and like about to walk out, there was a guy who'd been walking around the store. I don't think he was buying anything, but he went to the register like right after I bought these and said, "Do you all take stuff to sell?" And they were like, "Yeah." And the thing he said was Skylanders, and I've never seen anybody in store sell Skylanders. I mean, I know obviously that's how Game Exchange gets them, but the fact that they like mentioned it right after I bought them, and then they said, "Let me go out to my car and get them." Like, I almost wanted to ask, like, "Oh, can I see them before you sell them?" But then I was like, this could be bad, so I didn't do anything. I just left. But yeah, it was a little weird, and maybe it just was a coincidence, but it seemed really weird that this guy that like had just been looking around the store, not buying anything, all of a sudden after somebody goes and buys Skylanders, asks if they can sell Skylanders. I don't know. And like I said, I'm probably just overthinking it, and it was probably nothing, but it was just really weird that like literally right after I'd bought Skylanders, somebody would go in the store that I don't really even remember what they looked like, but I do remember it just being really weird that they like asked specifically about selling Skylanders right after I'd purchased Skylanders. So I got a really like weird vibe off of it. But yeah, I did just want to mention that because like I said, it was definitely a weird moment that I'll definitely remember about getting these two, that I'm glad I did remember to say in this video because I almost forgot about it for a second, but I did want to mention that. But yeah, now we'll move on to the actual next two Skylanders or whatever. I'm not for sure if it's Skylanders Disney or Amiibo or what next, but let's get right into it now. Okay, as you all can see, my cat has kind of taken over my table since we started recording. But yeah, we'll just go on. So yeah, the next item, this I technically might have got before the last two lots you all saw. And I'll explain why I might have technically. So I saw I ordered this, well, I ordered this December 7th of 2024, and I received it, it said December 13th, 2024, which would have technically been before the two things you all just saw before this. But the one thing is, for some reason, I feel like I got this after those, but maybe not. And so either what happened was I either got this like the day before we left on our trip, and I just didn't have a reason to like open it since it was like one figure or whatever, or and this is what I think might have been the case, but I also think might not have been the case, is that I received this like while we were on the trip or like while we had left, but I don't think we were there that many days, so I honestly don't know. But either way, I got this within like a day, or like it was right before either we went on that trip where I got the lot you all just saw, the 4, even though it was 2 separate lots of 2, or like the day after, but it was at my house before, whatever. You all kind of get where I'm going. But what the deal was with this item, this is one Skylander, and it was, I'll look in a second, see how much exactly I paid for it, but this was from the shop app. If you know how the shop app works, it's a lot of places you order from nowadays, you have to use it. Like in all the different stuff I've collected for, I've had to do stuff from there, ranging from Safari LTD figures, which are like animal, dinosaur figures, the Youtooz I ordered had to go through shop, which you all will see later in this video, and then some other stuff. But for some reason, they had a big deal going on shop, or I built up points. I don't know exactly, but I swear, I think they literally sent like a free $5 reward thing out to people. So I was like, let's just spend it on something. And I was just scrolling through like, you know, random stuff and all like the stuff I collected. And I looked, there was some people that sell Skylanders on shop. And one of the Skylanders figures was like either right at $5, barely under $5, and it was one I didn't have, so I just picked it up. I think technically, if it wasn't for the $5 off thing, this would have been like a bad deal for what this Skylander normally goes for. But since I pretty much got it for free, it was a good deal, and we'll just show off who it is. It is Series 2 Eruptor. Yeah, the Eruptor with all the spikes and everything. Really cool figure. And what's really cool about this one specifically, okay, my cat literally just dropped down, but yeah, I cut out a little part just because I kind of lost my train of thought on what I was talking about after doing something. But yeah, so yeah, Series 2 Eruptor, as we just mentioned. But a few things I did want to mention. So yeah, the cool thing that I did want to say, they did include the little sticker pack thing, just in case somehow Skylanders comes back. We are going to cover this because I did show it at first, but, and I mean, there's probably a 99.9% chance that this don't matter, and this code was either already scanned when this figure did come out, or that this will never be something you can access. But just in case, I will not show that, because I did accidentally show that at first. But yeah, it did come with a little sticker pack. It did not come with the card though. And I did look on the shop app while I was waiting and like reading. It was $5.50. So yeah, $5.50 with free shipping. So I paid 50 cents for this with that like $5 discount thing. And I might have paid even less than $5 because I'd already had like because you like earn like a penny on like however much you spend. But it, like I said, it gave me just a free $5 thing. So I spent under 50 cents for this figure. And like I said, I know this figure's probably like cheaper on SCL than $5, but with the free $5 off thing, obviously it made it a really good deal. But I actually have some of the other Eruptor figures right beside me that I didn't want to show off while we're talking about him. So yeah, I have Series 1 Eruptor because, I mean, I've used him in locks, but we also have the other Giants Eruptor figure, which is Lightcore Eruptor, who I've had longer and who has appeared in a previous video. And then we also have Series 3 Eruptor, or at least a variant of it, and that is Molten Eruptor, or, oh, I never realized how bad in frame, or like, I can't remember exactly what term it is, but I love the black Eruptor. Lava Bar, I think it's Lava Bar Molten Eruptor, maybe. But yeah, so his regular figure looks like that in Swap Force, but just obviously without the black. But yeah, really cool. And like I said, getting this figure pretty much for free was an awesome deal. Okay, next up we have two that I believe I got February 18th, 2025, or at least I took a picture of them that day, which is before any of the next Skylanders you all will see in this video. So yeah, we'll just show them off. There are two really cool ones that I have that aren't like super expensive Skylanders, but I have a little bit of a cool reasoning behind why I got each of these. First one is Gill Grunt, which this is Series 2 Gill Grunt. Yeah, because it's Giants. Oh, speaking of how I've just showed off for Eruptor, I actually have Series 3 Gill Grunt right here. Yeah, so that's Series 3 Gill Grunt. My cat, who was just up on this table, is now up on my bed. Hello, Weenie. But yeah, Series 2 Gill Grunt. And one reason why I specifically got this one, because I've seen this figure, I think, before, and I've seen it after for sure. But this figure, I've noticed a ton of times whenever I see it, his plunger, or not plunger, his harpoon, I can't believe I said plunger, but his harpoon is normally either super warped, or it's literally completely broken off, which is what I see it a lot of the time. So to see one like this, which is in pretty good condition, I mean, maybe that's a little bent in. I mean, but for what I've seen, a lot of these look like I said, most of them I see, I swear, this part's just straight up broken off. A lot like Hot Dog. He's another Skylander who I have not picked up, but have seen at a few stores, but or online, because he's one of the last ones I need for Giants to do a certain series I want to do. But every time I see Hot Dog, he's either got his tail loose or whatever. But yeah, this gill grunt, like I said, I've seen a ton of places, but the harpoon's either broken or really, really bad warped. So to find one that's in pretty good condition, I was really happy with. And this one, I believe, was $3 because it's at one of my favorite game stores, or was one of my favorite game stores. But yeah, they had him in pretty good condition. And then the next one I got from there is a Swapper from Swap Force. And this is, I can't even remember his name, I'll be honest. Somebody please comment what his name is, because I'm so mad that I forgot what his name is. And I mean, I'll see it because I'm going to test him on the portal at the end of this video. But yeah, please comment who this is. I assume his name's something NATO or something like Warnado or like Tornado more. Yeah, I can't think of his name. But the reason that was really cool about this one, I remember when I was in the store, they had his top half and bottom half were separated. It was like his top half either was with a different Skylander and his bottom half was just like sitting on the table or like in that cabinet that they have them in that store, or they were just on two completely different halves, and like they had them in like those glass cases. I'm sure a lot of other places that sell Skylanders have them in like that. My local like stores that sell Skylanders either had them in glass cases or in like buckets, pretty much. That you just like can dig through. Prefer when they're in like this because they normally keep them. They're normally in better condition. But yeah, so they had it like that. And whenever they'll let you just tell them and they'll like unlock the case and you go pick them out. And I said, hey, can I swap these because it's supposed to be like this? And they're like, oh yeah. They like didn't really know what I was talking about. But whenever I did it, either they didn't know what I was talking about or just were like not sure. And then whenever I showed them, I was like, yeah, it's supposed to be like this. And they were like, oh yeah, you can do that because yeah, it was just the swap was mixed up. I'm sure somebody just brought in a big lot of Skylanders and the top half and bottom half for this figure was just had gotten mixed up, or maybe the person that sold them to him had swapped them. But either way, the bottom half and top half for this one were swapped, and I got to buy them and fix it. So that was really cool. So yeah, we got him. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. I will say one thing that worries me about this one though. His little thing up here looks like it is. Well, it was really shaky, so if it falls out, we'll just have to glue it. But either way, for $3 for both of these, I thought was a really good get. Especially, like I said, because these are two like cooler story ones almost, because this specific gill grunt, like I said, is very commonly broken or really badly warped. And then, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name, but, and okay, just a little run. My Skylanders knowledge, I'm pretty good on Spyro's Adventure and pretty good on Giants. Especially Spyro's Adventure, but then all the games after that, I know like a good bit, but not a ton. Especially for the figures I don't have. And like since I had the whole SSA roster, that's why I know Spyro's Adventure pretty well. But yeah, Hawk, or it's not like Hawk NATO. It's definitely not anything. I can't remember his name. We'll see it later in this video though. But yeah, these two, pretty happy with. Okay, this next lot was actually from later in the same day, so February 18th for these as well. But I remember this was my local game store, or the one like not really in the town I live in, but at the closest to my college campus, I should say. But yeah, I spent like $40 here. Not all on Skylanders. This was like when Pokemon was going absolutely crazy, and I mean it still pretty much is. But yeah, this was February 18th. This was like the week of, or like in the week that Prismatic released, and they had Prismatic mini tins. So if you know Pokemon, you know what that is. And they were a little over retail. I think I paid $20 for a mini tin, which is probably about double what they're supposed to go for, or close to double. But they had the Umbreon one, and for that, I remember I did not pull anything good out of it, but still. So that, and then they had a ton of Skylanders. Somebody must have just sold a collection because they had a ton that like I didn't have, and yeah, just an awesome lot. I remember they had so many that like I honestly debated on buying, but some were either just, this is what the ones that I did not buy, and I might have taken a picture, and if I did take a picture of them, because I think this was from that day, I'll show it on screen. But what I believe, The ones that I did not buy were either kind of broken, so either like really bad warped, or like you could see like visible like bad chips in the paint, like really bad, or just you could tell like the limb was literally about to snap from where it'd been like bent so much, or they were the ones that were like $3 or $4 in store, but were like $3 to $2 online. So I was like, I'm already spending so much, so we're just gonna get like the better of the better ones. So yeah, we'll show it off. Like I said, I could have got way more this day. Honestly, since then, I've not had much luck of Skylanders since then, so I probably should have just went all out that day. But yeah, let's just show off what we got. We did get a really good lot, though. This is probably one of the best lots I've ever had, since early on. Since early on, I didn't have as many. But since I've gotten back into Skylanders on this channel, this was probably one of the best hauls I've had. There was one really good haul, though, I had, though. That one that I got, the blue Tree Rex. But yeah, we'll show it off. First one up, Smolder Dash. I think this is the first game Smolder Dash was in. Yeah, I don't believe Smolder Dash was in Giants. I think she was Swap Force to begin with. I think it's a she. Okay, next up, we have Eyebrow, but mini. Eye Small, I believe, actually. But yeah, this one does have a little bit of paint chippage right on the eye, as you can see. And then to go with Eye Smaller. Oh, wait, do we not? Oh, no, we did. Okay, I was going to say, I thought there was a reason I specifically bought him. Because I honestly debated on not buying him because of the eye chippage. But one of the reasons I did specifically buy him is they had the mini Hex figure. Yeah. And I was like, since these two probably came in a set together, let's just buy them both. Really love both of these. I will say, I probably would not have bought Eye Small if it wasn't for the mini Hex figure. Because I was like, these two probably went together. And I actually have an Eyebrow figure. Can't remember exactly where he's at right now, though. But he also has the exact eye chippage spot. I'm just going to cut the video really quick and see if I can find him just to show him, because it does make it really funny how similar these two are. Okay, it turns out I was wrong. Maybe one I'd seen on eBay or something that I just really remembered, but for some reason I was thinking one of the two eyebrows I had also had damage right on the eye, but it turns out they don't, so I was just wrong there. Okay, we've got a few more in the lot, some other really cool ones. Another mini is Mini Frino. Might be wrong on that, but yeah, he's a really cool one. Oh yeah, so yeah, these are the Trap Team bases. So yeah, 2 undead, 2 fire. We actually have a few Earth Skylanders next up. This is a really, really cool one in my opinion. Series 3, I believe. Prison Break, really cool one. Yeah, really like Prison Break. I mean, I'm a big fan of most of the OG roster. Prison Break's definitely no exception. The Earth is so good in SSA, model-wise, and they're all really fun to play with. Terrafin, Bash, Prison Break. Who am I forgetting? Oh, Dino Ring, yeah. Okay, now the other one. I forgot what his name is, but I absolutely love his figure. It's not Bumper. No. I forgot what this dude's name is. Another one, please comment and let me know who that is. I'll see him later in this video, though. But yeah, Trap Team. He's from Trap Team. He's like a core from the Earth element. Kind of reminds me of a Honey Badger with that black and white color scheme. Yeah, really cool Skylander either way, though. And then the last one we got, I think this is a holiday themed one. And this is, okay, this one was $4.99 actually. I didn't look at the prices. Yeah, okay, every single one of these were $2.99 except this one. Is it Iclop? I know he's based on a Cyclops. No, that's Pokemon. I was gonna say Clobbopus. He's something. He's from not Imaginators. He's from. It says Imaginators on the receipt though, but no, he's from. Oh my gosh, how am I blanking? I'm literally blanking on a whole game title name. Superchargers. Yeah, he's from Superchargers. Dive Clops or something like that. But yeah, really cool one. Yeah, so we got 2 of each element except for water, which we only got Dive Clops. But yeah, like I said, I probably showed it on screen or meant to, but they had a ton of other good Skylanders. They had another, I've got this one on screen, but they had another Bop, and I honestly considered buying it just because I like Bop that much, but I did not. Yeah, they had Bop, I remember. I think they might have had some vehicles. Um, yeah, if I didn't show it on screen, but I mean, I didn't show all the Skylanders they had on screen. They had a bunch, and they were also, I think, maybe like Series 2 or 3 Terrafin, like some ones that I was like, I might have that are like cheaper ones, so I didn't risk buying them. But yeah, as you can see, I think this is one of the best lots I've had. 3 really cool minis, and nobody's in bad condition. Oh, another one I remember they had in store that I did not buy. They had Mini Ninjini, so I think it's Mini Genie or something. But she was one of the ones I remember that was like broken. So she has like a really thin base, and it was like you could literally see like cracking, and it was like a little bent. And I was like, I mean, I might could buy that one and just keep it, but the figure was in like such bad shape off that alone that I like decided against it. But like I said, they had a ton of really cool ones that day. Yeah. If I didn't show the image on screen, I'll show it at the end of this right now. But yeah, they had a super good lot. And I mean, I picked up what I said, or what I thought I said, some of the best ones they had. I mean, I think this is a really, I mean, nothing's like crazy out of these. Dive clubs might be like $10. I think these are all like $3 to $5-ish Skylanders were at the time. But yeah, really fun lot nonetheless. Okay, I'm just going to do this instead of showing that picture on screen. Yeah, I took a picture that day. Yeah, this was the day that I picked up the lot you all just saw. And these were some of the other ones they had. There's the Mini Genie. And there is Series 3 Terrafin, which I don't believe I have. There's the Pop Fizz's variant for Superchargers, which I don't have. There's the 2 starter pack Skylanders for Superchargers, which I also don't have. Yeah, there was a really good lot that day. Terrafin's vehicle figure, the dark version of the vehicle, that Spitfire, which is the Supercharger starter that I was thinking of. They had its vehicle, but they didn't have, if they had dark Spitfire, I kind of wish I would have bought the vehicle anyways, but I think it was $5 too, and that's one of the reasons I didn't get it, because it was like Imaginators and Superchargers figures were $5, and anything below that was $3. Still probably should have bought it. Slobbertooth, which I didn't have at the time, and even like you can see like the light, the guy for, the light Supercharger, but I actually have him, so not too upset with not getting him that day. But yeah, as you can tell, they had a ton, and this is the store that I was saying keeps them more in buckets. The 2 I got from the store before that are the ones that keep them more in the glass cases, which I like a lot better because they get way more damaged like this. And that's the Mini Genie that I was talking about. You can't see it, I guess, super well in this, but yeah, the base for that one was really bad off. Like, it was not the base, but the figure, like, where its legs would be, was like the mist almost stuff, was like really badly torn, where it looked like you could break it very easily. And I've noticed a lot of figures, that stand on like one leg or something tend to have that. Did not mean to do that. How do I get this off? Okay, there we go. The other thing I wanted to show was this. That day that I went to McKay's the first time, and this was where we picked up Zulu and Series 2 Terrafin, I did just take a big picture of their selection. Yeah. The only thing I really noticed after looking back over this that I don't have, I saw a Golden Queen figure, but she was the one I talked about earlier that I said like the Imaginators that come in the starter pack for that game are really cheap. So I just haven't went for them. But yeah, I didn't want to show both of those right now. Okay, so I went back to that same game exchange, and that's the one like closest to my college campus, like 10 days later. Yeah, it was the 28th, and the ones before were the 17th. So yeah, like 11 days later. And I went back, and yeah, like a lot of the really good ones that I like mentioned that I didn't buy, like the Bops, even like the Mini Genie that was broken, I think. Like a lot of the ones that I thought about buying, but then it had sold. But they did have a few of the ones that I kind of debated on, but then they did have back, so I did finally get some of them. First one, I got Slobbertooth. He's a pretty cheaper Skylander, I think. I always was not the biggest fan of him because I thought he was like almost like a knockoff Bash, because I just assumed his gameplay was like similar to Bash, being like the dinosaur with the club tail looking thing that's kind of armored. I don't know. I just thought of him as like the worst Bash. But for $2.99, I believe, yeah, not too bad. And then the other one, this was another one of the $5 ones because it was Imaginators or Swap Force, or Imaginators or Superchargers, and this one was Superchargers. and it is series whatever for, I was about to say Sonic Boom, but no, this is not Sonic Boom. This is Jetpack, yeah. And I'm pretty sure, to my knowledge, the Superchargers variants of previous Challengers are like a whole new thing. Like, I know like Series 3, like, Series 3, oh my gosh, who was I going to say? Prison Break, like, plays, like, you can use him as a Series 1 Prison Break on Spyro's Adventure. But, like, this version of Jetpack, you cannot use on Giants. They're, like, their whole new thing with, like, a whole new moveset. They're not like the ones before that, like, got, like, a wow power or something. They're, like, just bringing back a character, but with a whole new thing, which, honestly, I think might be better. I'm not 100% sure on that and not sold on that opinion just yet, but I do think that might be true, because the truth is, I really think this, for some people, you know, whenever they made like a Series 2 of a figure and it just added stuff, it makes the Series 1 figure obsolete in a way. Like, you'd be like, why would I want a Series 2 Bash? Or why would I want a Series 1 Bash unless I just really like the figure compared to Series 2 Bash, which I know price and stuff too, but it makes it like, why did I buy this figure when there's just a straight up better in-game version? So yeah, I'm glad that they did do figures like these, and I really like that personally. But yeah, picked up both of these two. I don't have a ton to say about these two. Like I said, these were like a few days after I got those ones and went back to that same store, and a lot of those ones that I thought about buying but didn't weren't there, and these were two of the ones that I debated on that were still there. So yeah, Slobbertooth and Jetpack, but this is his Superchargers variant, which, like I said, plays like a completely different one. And if I didn't mention, I think I did, but kind of just to re-mention this again, we are going to test most of these figures. Like this Jetpack, we're not going to test because I don't have the 5th or 6th game to test on. I technically have Superchargers, but it's like the Just Racing one on the Wii, so I don't even know if that would really work for what I'm wanting to do with testing them. So yeah, we're only going to test the Series 1 through 4 figures in this video. Okay, next up on April 17th, this was another game exchange, but this is a different one. I actually picked up one Skylander that is one that I did already have, so this is a repeat. And it's not like a $30 Skylander that I bought a repeat of just because of value. This is just one I really like and have never seen in store. The only one I have, I bought online in a lot. And that one has like a weird thing I did want to mention about it. So I wanted to, whenever I saw this one, and this was the only Skylander I picked up that day, I'm pretty sure. So I was like, well, let's just get it. I mean, $3 for just a Skylander I really like that I only have one figure of. And let's just show it off. It is little Chopper, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I love dinosaurs, so love all the dinosaur-like Skylanders, and Chopper is definitely no exception. Just a little baby T-Rex, but with a jetpack or helicopter jetpack thing. Yeah, super cool. And yeah, I have one of him already, but that one I got in a lot that's like half of them or all of them are in their like plastic still, or most of them. And two, I want to get like doubles of most figures, especially if they don't have like a chase variant, so that way I can try out both paths without having to reset the figures. And one thing I will say, I plan to reset most of these figures at some point. I'm probably not going to do it this video, but we might literally just do a stream of like resetting old Skylanders figures. Like, I'm not going to reset like the ones I grew up using, but all the ones that I've like bought from places like eBay, the game exchanges, other stores like that, I plan on resetting most of those so I can start from scratch with them, especially if they're like ones that have already had a pathway picked. But yeah, we got a second Chopper, so we will get to eventually try both of Chopper's pathways, which will be awesome. And yeah, I just love Chopper. I actually think showed this one off on my dinosaur channel. So yeah, if you happen to come from that channel to this channel, yeah, this is that same one that you would have seen on that video. So yeah. Okay, we actually have one really big lot that I'm not exactly sure on the date that I picked these up, but it was sometime before February 23rd, 2025, because I have a picture of having these in a bag at my house by then. So yeah, it's a huge lot, and I'll just be honest, it's mainly Superchargers, and it's a super good lot. Yeah, this was from the same game store that had the lot that included Slobbertooth, or no, because that Slobbertooth was from, no, it's the same store that had the Swap Force one that I said I had split, and the Gil Grunt Series 2. And I can't remember if I got these before that one or this one, but this was sometime before February 23rd, and sometime after we picked up the Swap Force, or no, that we picked up Zulu. It was maybe before, actually. I'm not for sure. We for sure got this lot before February 23rd, though. But it was a huge lot, and I think these were the last Skylanders I picked up from one of my favorite game stores before it sort of closed. And what I mean, well, it's kind of a weird situation. So this was that mall store that I've got a ton of Skylanders from before, including the a ton of stuff. Yeah, just a ton of different figures. The dark. It's just so many, honestly. Half the Skylanders I probably bought that you all have seen on this channel probably come from this one store. But the deal was, they made a second store in the same mall, but it's a bigger store. And they just, for a while, actually kept both stores open. But then the second store, eventually, they just moved all product to that one. And then this one just kind of disappeared. But yeah, so this was a huge lot from that store. So these were either the last Skylanders I got from there, or the second to last. It was either these or the, I swear, I think it was these ones, though, because I think these were the last ones I got from there. I don't have a receipt for this lot, though, so I'm not 100% sure. Well, yeah, it's a huge lot. Okay, I tried to look and see if I could find anything about when the exact date I got these, but I can't. I do remember one thing specifically, though, and that makes me really confident that in the time range that this was, which was like that early February of 2025 to January, because I remember I actually went in that game exchange, or not, it's not game exchange, I can't remember what its name actually is for this game store, but it's one that's at my mall. But I remember I was actually looking for Pokemon cards and wasn't really looking for Skylanders unless they just had something crazy, and then they had all of these, so yeah, that's why we spent so much. Actually, okay, sorry, I'm going to see, there's one more thing that might be able to lead me to finding these, so I'm going to look at it really quickly. Okay, after looking, I found a date that might have possibly been this, because I don't know if I paid cash for these or if I paid with a debit card or what, but I did have a charge on March 10th of 2025, which would have been right in the range that these could have been, and I paid $34 something. And these are normally $3 a piece at that store, so that would have been the 30, and then the $4 maybe if I bought like one or two cards and taxes and everything. That could have been those, but it might have not been, because I don't know if I would have paid cash or card for these, but that's the only date I can possibly assume that it was. So yeah, if that's the case, that was after, well, before the chopper and what it, okay, let's just move on, because it don't really matter what date it was. I was just curious and trying to find it, but yeah, let's just show off what we got. So it's a lot of superchargers and some of their vehicles. So first up we have, well, actually put the camera like this, since the amount. So first up we've got Gilgrunt's Superchargers variant. Next up we've got Terrafin's Superchargers variant, which this is one of the ones that makes me not for sure when I got this lot, which makes me think maybe it was earlier than I'm thinking or later. Because the fact that one store had that Terrafin and that I didn't buy it, I think I didn't buy it because I already had it, which means it would have been before that lot. So that's why I'm not for sure if that date is right, or maybe they, you know, sometimes you'll buy stuff and then they charge you later. And like I said, that charge could have easily been for Pokemon cards as well from that same store. So, but I normally don't spend that much, I feel like. I honestly don't know. It don't really matter the date, but yeah. So we got Terrafin. So those are the only two that are like pre-posed type figures. And the other ones are all like brand new-ish figures. First up, we've got Diveclops. This is his regular one. I think it's Diveclops. Next we have, I think his name is Fiesta, or maybe he's got a variant that's Fiesta. I don't know. I can't remember his name. He's a really cool looking figure though. And then the last one, we've got this bird looking Skylander. I swear, I want to think her name's like Sky something. Sky, maybe not. But we got those four, or those five, but we got 4 vehicles to go with them. So it's every single one of their vehicles except one, which we actually have something cool about that. So we got Gilgrunt's vehicle, which is pretty cool. We got Diveclops' vehicle. And I do really think it's really cool how a lot of these have functions. Like, I realized this spun, but I didn't realize it's actually that wheel that spins it. So you can, yeah, that's really cool. I don't know if the Christmas variant of Diveclops, which we already showed, oh, he's right here actually, if he has a Christmas version of this vehicle or not. I don't know if they did that for the variants or not, because that would be cool, but I could see them doing that or not doing that. Then we got Terrafin's vehicle, which is really cool. And then we got the Bird one's vehicle, which is really cool. So they had, I don't remember if they didn't have his vehicle. I think they did not, but I believe that's actually one of the few vehicles I actually do have. I'm just going to grab it. Okay, I planned to just grab the vehicle, but it was under a few things, and I didn't see it at first, but I went back and found it. And I'm pretty sure, I only have like 2 vehicles. One was when I got on eBay, whenever I bought a game, and they just like threw it with the game. It was when I bought the Wii version of Superchargers. But then the only other vehicle I actually have is this one, which I believe is actually his vehicle. So I think we actually have all the vehicles for these 5, which is really cool because I know there's like different versions for the game. Like there's land-based vehicles, there's water-based vehicles, and there's air-based vehicles. So we'll have one for each. So we've got an air vehicle, we've got land, water, and a few extras. So yeah, that's just really cool that we can do any of them. And I think actually the one other vehicle I have might be an air vehicle or it's a water vehicle. It's for the Light Skylander. Yeah, I'm not going to bother getting it right now though. But yeah, so that's really cool that we have all of these now. But we will not, unfortunately, while I'm thinking about it, we will not be testing these, like I said, because they're Superchargers, and yeah, I just don't have the, I mean, I can test them on Superchargers base game, but yeah, we don't. Oh, and I have Hammer Slam Bowser, who's got the air thing. So yeah, we've got at least 2 different vehicles for each type of terrain. Okay, since I was curious, I went and looked online to see if there was like a winter version, because I think I looked and this is Mistletoe Diveclops. And there actually is a variant of Diveclops' vehicle, but what's funny is the variant appears to actually be an Easter variant, so maybe there's a winter variant, I just missed it, but yeah, the variant for the vehicle actually is the Easter one, while the figure that's a holiday theme is Christmas themed, which I did think was kind of interesting. But yeah, I did just want to mention that really quick while I was looking. Okay, next up we have one of the reasons why I kind of got my dates out of order. Well, I had a receipt in the bag that had all those Superchargers figures, but it turns out that was for the wrong Skylanders figure because, I mean, there's only one Skylander on this receipt, and we only got one that was, and the date was off because I was like, I know I got these way earlier on because I remember that store closing or moving before then. But yeah, oh, and one thing I will mention about that store, unfortunately, since it had moved, my luck on finding Skylanders in there has been way worse. They actually didn't have a Skylanders section for a while, and I asked them about it one day, and they said, we've honestly just don't have enough to really put out on shelf right now. But then like a few days after that, or like the next week or so, I went and they had more, and that's when I got some of the ones you all are going to see on screen. This receipt I have is for 7/2/25, so that's what, July 2nd. But I remember it was like the week after or the week before I got the other one of these, so July 2nd and sometime a little before or a little after this, I got the other one. But they had a few traps. They had a few other like base figures, but it's always like the Series 1 Gil Grunt, Series 3 Stealth Elves, like really common figures it feels like. Or like, oh my gosh, the giant from the Earth, or not, Life Giant, the one that comes in the starter pack that's always super easy to get. I've literally talked about him. Tree Rex, yeah. But they had a few traps in there, which traps are not something I come across super often. But I'll be honest, I'm not as crazy about traps as a lot of other people. I don't know. They're just, I like the figures like looking like the actual things. And I think that's one reason why I probably, and I don't even really remember much about Imaginators releasing. I wasn't as heavy into Skylanders then, but I don't think I would have cared as much for those figures because I like the figures of the figure you're using. So, but they had one trap that is one that is probably my favorite trap of all of them, like not counting like prices or anything. And this is one of the more expensive traps, but we'll just show it. For $3, I got the Chaos Trap. Yeah, they had this one. They had the really common traps too, like the Life Hammer and the Water Tiki, the ones that like come in the starter pack that are really easy to get. But they had Chaos's trap, which I was definitely getting. This is my favorite trap in the whole series. So cool. And yeah, so happy to have this. This is definitely my favorite trap you can get. And then they had one other trap. Well, actually, so at first I only bought the Chaos Trap. I think I might have bought like a Pokemon card or something in the Chaos Trap. And then like we went like a week later and they still had some of the other traps. And I was like shocked because I was like, I know the traps are normally really popular. And I don't think Skylanders are as popular in my area, but there's clearly some people that know about them because like if I find really good figures and I don't buy them all, like next time I go, they're normally sold out. But they still had most of the traps. that I was looking at. So I picked up the other one that really interested me the next time I went, because I was like, I should have just bought this then, but they luckily still had it. And it was the air snake trap, which is really cool. Because I feel like it's either a lot of the air or water traps and stuff tend to be like really faded. So yeah, really cool. So got both of these. Two traps that I really like. I think like the light and dark traps are the most expensive ones. And then outside of those, Chaos's trap I think is really high up there. And there's probably some other ones that I don't really know about. But yeah, Chaos's trap, super cool. Definitely the coolest trap in the game in my opinion. So was super happy to get it. And like I said, both of these were $3. Two of my, well, I wasn't going to say favorites, but the Chaos trap probably is one of my favorite finds I found one day. Just because like, I've never seen the Chaos trap in store anywhere. And yeah, like I said, one of these was July 2nd, and then the other one was a week before or after, either way. But yeah, super cool pickups. And like I said, these ones were the ones that kind of messed me up on the dates for the big lot, because I was like, July 2nd. So I was like ordering them from when I got them so I could show them off in the video. And like, I knew some of the dates were off for this video because some of these I didn't get the receipt for whenever I bought them. And then, you know, sometimes the receipt just gets misplaced. But I knew that lot I'd gotten way earlier than July 2nd, because whenever I was like going through the video, I was like, I know I got these before I got Chopper. And then I looked and I was like, oh crap, that receipt's not even the right receipt. So yeah, I figured it out pretty quickly. But yeah, got both of these traps, really cool ones. We'll test both of these out. We'll be able to put Chaos in here and somebody in this air one. Okay, next up we have our first non-Skylanders figure in this video. So for the people that enjoy this channel with Toys to Life stuff other than Skylanders, which I'm very sorry to those people because I actually want to do more Toys to Life content outside of just Skylanders on this channel, but we do finally have something, and that is the Princess Daisy Amiibo. Yeah, picked this up at, actually while I was in Florida on vacation, but yeah, it was marked down on sale for $4.79. Yeah, $4.79 for an Amiibo felt like a great deal. I know after this, I think GameStop actually put a lot of Amiibos on sale for like $5, but I should have ordered some, but I kept waiting, and then they put them back to normal price, and I don't know, maybe those were like used ones or something, but I know at one point GameStop had a lot of Amiibos on sale, and I just didn't buy any of them. But yeah, we did get Daisy, and this worked out at an awesome time, because during this vacation was actually when I was trying on another channel, which I was doing like Mario Kart and a lot of Mario game stuff, and I actually picked this up on that channel, or picked this up and had shown that off on that channel already. So yeah, I've shown this off already on one channel, but yeah, I finally get to show it off on this channel. But yeah, I picked this up on January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Okay, this would have been, I think, July 8th, actually. Yeah, so we picked up Daisy's Amiibo. Really, really cool. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, I think July 8th, unless I'm doing the numbers off. But yeah, Daisy's Amiibo, really cool. And like I said, for $4.79, you can't beat that for an in-box Amiibo. And I've heard some people say this, and I think this might be the truth. Amiibos might be the highest quality Toys to Life figures. Like, they just look awesome. It's just the truth. Like, and I love Skylanders figures, but I think it's really apparent whenever you like compare like the Amiibo Bowser to like the Skylanders Bowser figure. And I know that maybe that's just an exception with that figure specifically, but the Amiibos also have a big issue with, they literally don't have a Toys to Life game. So like you know, they're like more accessories for games instead of like the actual game pieces, which is something I like more about Skylanders and the others, but like at Disney Infinity and Lego Dimensions. But then again, Amiibo's the only one that's still currently producing stuff, so maybe, but I think it's more just because they're high quality Nintendo figures. I think that's the biggest reason Amiibo has done so well for so long. But yeah, I think this makes my second Amiibo, including the Bowser one. And I will say, okay, I did want to quickly mention this. So as far as how these Toys to Life figures are in my local area, at least, Amiibos are still, you know, you can still find them in retail stores and stuff like GameStop, and I think still probably in Walmart and stuff. I've seen them for sure in Targets. I mean, I picked this one up at Target. And they're still making new ones. Like, I know they made some new Super Mario Galaxy ones, which are like really big, actually. Those, and then Amiibos as well. As far as like the resale stores that I buy stuff like Skylanders and Disney Infinity stuff from, normally they have Amiibos actually that are out of the box, but they are always really expensive. Like, they're closer to like $15 for out of the box figures. So I normally, like, if they had Amiibos for $5, I'd probably buy a few Amiibos, but they're normally more than even like some of the amiibos in store are more expensive than like the same ones I'll see at like GameStop. And it's not that I know like some of the figures are more rare, but it'll literally be like a Koopa Troopa figure that I saw in a GameStop. The exact same one for 15 will be like 12 to 15 in a used game store. So that's why I just have not bought as many amiibos. And then also, like I said, the fact that you just can't use them in games, or not to the extent of some other stuff. And then Skylanders and Disney Infinity are commonly in a lot of stores. Used to, I actually saw more Skylanders, I felt like, but as of lately, honestly, I feel like I see more Disney Infinity figures, which I'm not as happy about, honestly, because I like Disney Infinity, but Skylanders is probably definitely my main one. I mean, based off this channel alone, you can kind of tell that. So it does kind of stink a little that like Skylanders honestly seem to be getting a little harder to find in my local areas. I mean, it's just depends on the day. Like some days I'll go and I'll find more, and I think definitely the fact that that one store that used to have a bigger Skylander section no longer exist, and whenever they move to that newer store that's actually bigger, they have a smaller section for Skylanders. I think that's definitely part of the reason why I feel like it's harder to find Skylanders. But yeah, even in general, I just like most of the stores that I used to see Skylanders in, they're becoming harder to get, or less common. But it's like, you'll go one day and they'll have more too. So I think it might just be, and that's kind of how it's always been too. So maybe I'd say it's still getting a little harder to find, but it kind of just depends on the day you go. Like literally, I'll go one day and they'll have like 30, and then one day I'll go and they'll have like 5, and they're like super easy ones to get. It just depends. But Lego Disney Infinity still seems to be pretty prevalent everywhere I go, and I have not seen Lego Dimensions in store. I've not even seen them at like those used game stores. I can't even remember the last time I've seen Lego Dimensions anywhere. So I don't know. Maybe in some of your all's areas it's different. I'd love to know. But yeah, that's kind of my experience. Amiibos are pretty much everywhere, but they're normally pretty expensive. And that's including retail. But for the most part, and I'm mainly talking about the used game stores, because you're not going to find any of these anywhere else besides Amiibo. But Skylanders are actually becoming a little harder to get. Disney Infinity seems to be about the same. And I will say most of the stores that have Disney Infinity and Skylanders are normally $2.99 to $3 to $5 pretty much everywhere I go. And outside of those two, yeah, I've never seen Lego Dimensions, and Amiibos are normally just way more expensive. So I'd love to know if that kind of tracks for where you all are, or if that's just kind of a local thing for me. But yeah, did get Daisy, and I kind of meant to mention this already, but yeah, when we got her, this was, like I said, whenever I was playing like a lot of Nintendo stuff. So I was actually doing a Mario Kart Wii series on that channel. So yeah, I'll put a link, since I talked about that channel a decent bit, I'll put a link to it in the description for this video. But yeah, I picked this up, and I actually was playing a lot. We played a lot of, I was mainly playing Mario Wii games on that channel, like Super Mario Brothers. I actually kind of want to get back on that channel a little, just to play Super Mario Galaxy, since I just don't think that would really fit on this channel. But especially with the new movie coming and everything. I'm a big Mario fan too, so like that's another reason why I really like this figure. And honestly, Daisy, I don't know. I like all three of the princesses. This is one thing I think I've mentioned on that channel, that like I really like all three of them. And Daisy's definitely like, not, I don't know who would be my favorite and least favorite out of Daisy, Peach, and Rosalina. Yeah, I honestly don't know. It's a toss-up between the three all for me. But yeah, got Daisy. And I know Daisy, I think, is actually like the best one in Mario Kart Wii. Interesting fact. I think outside of Funky Kong, she's like the second or third best character. So if you play Mario Kart Wii, that might be something to take note of. Because who doesn't like Mario Kart Wii? But yeah, Daisy, we picked her up. Trying to think. There's something else about I was wanting to mention. Oh yeah, and then we played the Switch game. I can't remember if they only had one Daisy. I might should have bought two, so I could have done an out-of-box figure. But we'll eventually get an Amiibo out-of-box, I'm sure. But yeah, we did pick up Daisy, and I think she makes my second Amiibo behind Charizard. So yeah, we'll move on. I just realized both my Amiibos are orange figures. Yeah, now we'll move on to the next thing right now. Okay, actually, since we were just talking about Amiibo, I'm going to say, we went to Nashville again last year. Well, I feel like this year, since it was so recent, but it was like in December, and I actually almost bought more Amiibos. So I'm just going to quickly mention this now so I don't forget about it whenever we talk about the stuff I did get in Nashville this, like, 2025 instead of all the way in 2024. But yeah, when we were in Nashville this year, I went to a GameStop, and they actually had like a promotion saying like Amiibos on sale for $5, and they had a few I was going to get. They had Koopa Troopa. They had, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of his name. How did I forget his name? Oh my god, the little brown, like, mushroom dudes that you, like, stomp on. But they had Koopa Troopa, they had him, and I can't believe I forgot his name. literally just, I'm blanking on so many names in this video. Um, but the little brown dudes, you know, the ones that like just walk on the two legs and you like can jump on top of them. They had him and I think either Peach or somebody else. I think it was Peach. And they said they were like $5. So I went to the counter and had all three. And the worker said, that's actually only for some Zelda or something figure. And I was like, oh. And I haven't played enough Zelda. And it wasn't for like Zelda or Link. It was like for some character within that universe though. So I was like, I'm good. I'll just pass. I thought about buying it though because I was like $5 for an amiibo, but I didn't. But yeah, I was going to buy some more amiibos, but like I said, since it wasn't that sale, I didn't get it. Okay, now the three that you can sort of see on screen, you can see one of them for sure. But I went to a new game store that's actually in the same area that I bought a ton of figures, like the one that I've mentioned about that has the same mall that moved the store that had Skylanders, and they've got a game exchange, and it's actually really close to a game exchange because I actually have a little bit of a story with a game exchange the day I got these. But it's a toy store that I didn't even know really existed, but it's super cool. I think it's like called like Toy Headquarters or something. And they actually had 4 Skylanders in store, and I bought 3 of the 4 they had in because they had a really good little selection. They only have 4 Skylanders for me to buy 70. I mean, I bought 75% of the Skylanders they had in store, but yeah, it was 3 of 4. And the 4th one they had actually was not like a bad one. It was actually a really good one. It's just I already happened to have it. But yeah, they had, so it was a big like vintage toy store. They had all kinds of stuff. They had like older Jurassic Park figures. They had some Godzilla stuff. That's like the main stuff I like. But they had a ton of like older Transformers, wrestler figures, DC Marvel figures, G.I. Joe, a ton of really, really cool stuff. And I think they either had Amiibo or Disney Infinity, something like that of the two on shelves. But I actually went in there looking for a few different things, and I went to the back and I asked them if they had any Skylanders or I can't remember what the other thing I was looking for at the time was, but I went and asked them if they had any of that stuff in the back because, you know, they had just so many random vintage things. And I saw they had like a big thing of stuff in the back, but since I didn't see any on shelves, I was thinking they probably aren't going to have any. But okay, and like I said, they had like 2. They didn't have Lego Dimensions. It was either Amiibo or Disney Infinity or a little bit of both they had on shelves that I saw. So I went and asked, and they had like a little back area where you could talk to somebody that was like marking prices for some stuff. And I said, hey, y'all don't happen to have any Skylanders? And the guy said, actually, I think we just recently got some. And he went in the back and grabbed some, and they had 4. And it's the three you all see. It's, what is his name? I really apologize. After Spyro's Adventure, the names for me, I'm just not as good on. Like, I think maybe Kaboom. I almost wanted to say Boomer, but I know this ain't Boomer. Well, him. Then they had Legendary Deja Vu. I think I've actually seen Deja Vu in a store, but I didn't buy the regular Deja Vu. And I could be wrong on this, but I swear I think I saw her at one store, but passed on her because I know she comes in like a set that's got like an adventure pack. And I was like, well, I'd rather just buy her when I can get her adventure pack. But so whenever they had Legendary Deja Vu, I got her. Then they had... is it Winterfest or Holiday Lob-Star? And I actually have regular Lob-Star, so, you know, maybe we'll try out both pathways now. But, yeah, we got all 3 of these, and I think they were $4. And I don't have the receipt for this. One thing I will say that isn't kind of notable, they gave it to me in this big purple bag, which purple's my favorite color, so fan of that personally. But yeah, was able to get all 3 of these. I think they were $4 each. But the only other Skylander they actually have beside me, and it's actually another Trap Master. And Trap Masters are not the cheapest, so... it's the Air Trap Master was the other figure they had. But like I just showed y'all, I already have him. He honestly probably wouldn't have been a bad get because, like I said, I want to try a bunch of Skylanders on their second paths as well. But I didn't buy him. I just bought these 3. But yeah, Legendary Deja Vu, awesome get. Kaboom, awesome get. And Holiday Lob-Star, I think he paid for the 3 pretty much. But yeah, was super happy to get all 3 of these. I thought they were awesome gets. And yeah, now we'll just move on to the next thing. And like I said, okay, actually, I might have not said this yet, but the dates for these 3, like I said, I couldn't find a date, but I feel like it was either late summer or early to mid-fall is when I think I got these. I cannot tell you a date for sure or even close to a for sure date, but it was either really late summer, like August to, I would say somewhere between August and November, but I can't say like a for sure date. But yeah, these 3 awesome kits. Okay, next up we've got a figure that when I bought it, I honestly did not know if this was the Series 2 or the Light Core variant. And it is a Giants figure, so we will show it. Series 2, which I literally just learned, Hex. Like I said, I honestly didn't know if this was the Light Core or the Series 2 figure, but yeah, this is Series 2 Hex, which I think is actually pretty good. I heard that the Wow Pow for Hex makes Hex much better, and Hex was a little bit of a disappointing Skylander for me, the lock I used her in. I think she had one really good moment for me, though, but outside of that, I think she was kind of a disappointment for me in the lock. But yeah, this was a really cool Skylander to get, because I remember the day I got Hex, it was actually, I think like the day I went back to classes, or like the week of, it was really early into my fall semester for 2025. But yeah, so we got her August 16th. And like I said, at the time I got her, they didn't have a huge selection, I remember that day. But when I did get her, I do remember she was the only Skylander I really wanted. And yeah, like I said, she would, I didn't know if this was Series 2 or Light Core, and I honestly didn't even look it up, because I was like, I don't have her either way. And for, oh wow, she was only $2. I thought she was $3. Yeah, $1.99. Is that really what I paid for her? Okay, that's not the right receipt. Yeah, $1.99. Wow, I only paid $2.11 even with taxes and everything for her. Yeah, $2.11 for Series 2 Hex. I will 100% take that. Awesome get right there. And especially can't wait to try her out eventually, because of her, like I said, I think it's her Wow Pow that makes her so good from what I've heard. Because I think it's the thing that you see in Spyro's Adventure, like, becomes her Wow Pow. And I've heard it makes her, like, go from, like, a decent to a really, really good Skylander. So can't wait to try her out. Okay, we've got another first for me on the channel. This is my first Disney Infinity figure of the video, but the main thing I was going to say is, as far as first, this is the first Disney Infinity figure I've ever picked up that was not in box when I got it. Because all the ones I picked up, like, since I've gotten back into collecting have been, like, older ones that just happen to still be in the box, or were from my old collection when I got them, like, in stores and stuff. So yeah, this is my first one, and yeah, you might be able to guess, I think it's one of the cooler figures that Disney Infinity ever made, and it's a Marvel one, so you can put your guesses down before I put it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Venom, yeah. I mean, who doesn't think Venom's so cool? Venom is just, I mean, too cool. I mean, I'll be honest, I got in a little phase of superhero stuff earlier in this year, and this was a little after that even, but still, Venom, I mean, Venom's just so cool. And honestly, I thought about it, you know, there was a point when I used to collect, like, Funko and stuff, but, like, for, like, Marvel, and I like Marvel a little. I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, but if I'm going to get anything Marvel, honestly, I'd probably rather just get the Disney Infinity stuff, because, I mean, the figures look better to me than Funko, a lot better, honestly. And they actually get to do something with these. And they're, honestly, another thing, they're a lot cheaper, too. I mean, because you can find a ton of Disney Infinity figures for, like, $3. And Disney Infinity, honestly, out of all four of the toys to live, in my personal experience, and I think I already mentioned this in this video, are the easiest to find and at generally the cheapest price. So, and I know there's some exceptions, obviously, like there's some harder to get figures, but I paid $2.99 for, honestly, I think one of the coolest figures in all of Disney Infinity. I remember my cousin, he had Series 2, and when we played it, and that's the one with Spider-Man. Spider-Man is so fun to use in Disney Infinity. It's honestly a lot, like, if I'm remembering right, I feel like a lot almost like how Spider-Man, like, the Fortnite item worked, like the Spider-Man gloves, like his web swinging is just so fun. But yeah, so picked up Venom. I mean, I just think Spider-Man's one of the cooler Marvel heroes. Definitely was probably my favorite growing up. And then Venom's just so cool. So as far as Disney Infinity figures, Spider-Man ones are probably going to be ones I'm going to try to get. And I will say, I still only have Series 1, so I couldn't even test him. I don't even remember. I know there's not like a pathway thing with him, or at least I don't think so. But I don't know if there's like a level thing or you can reset them or anything. But yeah, we'll eventually, whenever we play Disney Infinity again on this channel, well, not whenever I play Disney Infinity again, we've never played Disney Infinity on the channel. We'll eventually get to try out Venom, which I am super excited for. But right now, like I said, I only own Series 1 Disney Infinity, so I'm not going to get to try out any of the figures yet. I haven't got to try out any of the Marvel figures I've got. And I think all the ones that I've picked up since doing this channel were in-box ones. So, yeah. But we'll move on to the next thing right now, which is a really, really big thing. And like I said, I'm thrilled to get this, though. I think this is so, so cool. Yeah, Disney Infinity, I really like Disney Infinity. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. I actually just did a poll like yesterday or 2 days ago. We actually did a poll of what's y'all's favorite out of LEGO Dimensions Disney Infinity and others of Toys to Life. Because I did games, so I didn't do an Amiibo spot because Amiibos don't really have a game. But Yeah, I really like both of those, and I was just curious. I mean, they're very different games, and I had very different experiences with them. Lego Dimensions, I had a ton of fun playing with my sister. We played through the whole game together. And then Disney Infinity, that was one of the games that we went to my cousin's house and we would play, and we would always just pick random characters and just fight on sandbox maps. We would always do the big castle, I remember. And one thing I do remember specifically is Elsa was so OP. Because she had that like freeze thing. So she would hit you and it would take damage, but also you couldn't move. Her and Jack Skellington, I think, were like the hardest two to beat. But yeah, now let's just move on to the next thing, which is the most expensive Skylanders related item I think I've ever bought. I mean, excluding like the games, and most of those were normally like presents, but I have bought some of them. But this is the biggest singular Skylanders item I've paid for, and actually there's kind of a cool thing that recently came out about these. But yeah, let's just show it off. You all probably can guess where this is going. It's something I've talked about on this channel, but finally now getting to show my in-hand one right now. Okay, here it is. You can tell what it is. It's the Youtooz. I'm so happy I got this. I debated on this. So if you don't know, I made a video talking about the Youtooz stuff, recorded it, and then I went to go place my order after recording it. Because I recorded the video saying, I plan to buy this one, and then I went to buy it right after doing that, and I saw the shipping made it like $10 more. There was no discount codes, and I was like, I'm not paying for this. This is $40. And then the last day, within like an hour before that you could no longer buy these on Youtooz's website, I was like, let's just get it. I'm going to regret probably not getting this. I'd rather have bought this than have $40 in my bank account is how I thought of it in my brain. And I ended up getting this. I've not bought any of the Youtooz since then. I didn't buy the other two plushies. I've not bought any of the hard figures yet. You can still, I think, get some of them at the time I'm recording this. Honestly, I think I'm probably just going to pass on the hard figures unless they just make like a bash or something, which maybe I'll buy it then. But I might buy some of the plushies because honestly, if I'm going to buy the figures, I'd rather just buy more regular Skylanders figures, in my opinion. But I do really like the plushies because they are something very different. And actually, at the time I'm recording this, so if you don't, I think the waves went the 3 plushies, 3 hard figures, then 3 hard figures, and then they actually, at the time I'm recording this, I just saw the pictures for the new ones, which I think actually look awesome, is actually Cinder and Spyro is like a Valentine's couple one. Honestly, I think that was such a cool idea, and I guess maybe confirms that they are a couple, which, I mean, maybe that's like a confirmed thing in the Spyro lore that I'm just not aware of either, but yeah, I think that was so cool that they did them as a couple. Honestly, I don't know if these two are really a couple, but it's actually one we're going to show off in this video. I would love it if like they did the same thing, but with Stealth Elf and Flame Slinger, and they might have no connection like that, but I always thought that they looked really similar. But yeah, so here's who we got. The GOAT of SSA, in my opinion. We got Stealth Elf. Yeah. And I will say, after we ordered her, she took like forever to get home. I genuinely got worried. I was like, is this actually going to come? Because it like took forever. Like it took forever for them to eventually give me like a shipping confirmation thing. And then after they did that, it said like she was out for not out for delivery, but it said like we've shipped it or whatever on shop. And like I got no update for the longest time, and I was like, oh Lord, did something happen to it? And then it was like randomly like a week or two later. I don't remember the exact timeline, but I remember it was a long, long time for an order. But I've heard Youtooz take a while to ship out and stuff, so I wasn't that concerned. But it got to a point where after it shipped out though, like it had taken a week or so, it felt like at least. And I was like, is this actually going to happen? And then it was like, I was literally planning on contacting them like I was like, if I don't get something within a day or so, I think I'm gonna have to email somebody at Youtooz and just check, see if everything's fine. And then it was like shortly after that, I got like tracking in the US updates. And then slowly over time, she eventually came, and yeah, she's just been in that bag. And I literally had not ripped the seal for like weeks or months, and that was like, or it was at least a good few days at least. And then I was like, okay, I better rip this just to make sure I actually got the right figure. I don't know what would happen if I got the wrong figure, because Youtooz, at least these waves, it was like you had to order them within a certain day. So I'm sure something would have happened if they sent me the wrong thing, but I was like a little worried. I was like, I better make sure just that I got Stealth Elf. And I ripped the bag and I could see it was like her hair or ears or something. But yeah, we got Stealth Elf. The only Youtooz I got, like I said, I don't really care for the hard figures as much. If I'm going to buy one of those, I'd probably just buy a regular Skylanders figure. But I am really happy to see Skylanders getting support. And I will say, these are actually apparently must be doing even better than I thought they would do, because I was worried these were going to be like a one-wave thing. But the fact that they've done multiple waves, I mean, they did 3 waves, 1 of plushies and then 2 of hard figures. And And then they're doing another plushie, but of a pair. I mean, that's 4 waves pretty much. So maybe these are doing even better. So maybe that's a sign that maybe they could get Skylanders to come back. Fingers crossed. But yeah, really happy about Stealth Elf. And like I said, I probably wouldn't have bought any of the hard figures. And they were none of the characters I specifically really wanted anyways. But maybe if they did a bash, he's probably the only one. Or if there's maybe something else I would buy. But of the plushies, Stealth Elf was definitely my favorite. And then, like, Spyro's cool, but also, you know, Spyro just being from other games, too. But in Stealth Elf, I mean, outside of Bash, well, Bash is just my favorite because of design and how I got him and everything. And he is really good. But Stealth Elf, I think, is genuinely the best in the game. And I just have a lot of love for her because she helped me a lot. And I remember in the time I got my 100% on my original SSA save file. And she's just so good in game. Probably one of my best performing Skylanders I've used. I mean, I ranked her as my best Skylander in my tier list video, but yeah, Stealth Elf is just so good. And then out of the other plushies they did, Gilgrunt, I'm just not as crazy about Gilgrunt as some other people. So I passed on the Gilgrunt figure. He honestly reminded me more of his mini figure than his large figure as well. And I mean, I guess maybe you could say the same thing for Stealth Elf with Whisper Elf, but I don't know, seemed enough like Stealth Elf to me. And then I said about Spyro, you know, Spyro is also from other games too, but in-game, I actually probably like Stealth Elf better too. In-game, yeah, Stealth Elf in-game might be my favorite Skylander, just like how you play them. So yeah, for all those reasons, Stealth Elf was the one I picked, and I'm seriously debating on getting the Spyro Cinder one, if that's for sure legit. And maybe that's not for sure legit, but I think it is. No, actually, yeah, it is legit because I saw it on Youtooz website, because after I saw so many posts about it, I went to Youtooz website. It's not available for order at the time I'm recording this, but it's like $40. So $40 plus shipping is only like $50. So I'm debating a little on it, honestly. But yeah, we did get regular Stealth Elf, and I absolutely love it. But yeah, I'm really happy that they decided to make a pair set for like Valentine's Day. Especially it being Spyro and Cinder. Like I said, I don't know how their in-game lore is with those two. Like maybe they're a for sure confirmed couple in the Spyroverse, but it is really cool to see like the Skylanders for sure confirm them as a couple as well. And maybe that's something that gets confirmed in the later games too. I don't know. Like I said, outside of main SSA, I don't have as much knowledge. But yeah, that's it. So happy we finally got Stealth Elf. Yeah, super cool. And yeah, she's finally for sure out of the box now. But yeah, Stealth Elf, so cool. And she was actually the one that shipped out first out of everybody's. But I remember, and going back how I was saying mine came a little late. I did see people on YouTube post that they got theirs like a month, I think, before I got mine. And that was another reason I was a little concerned. But yeah, it seems super high quality. $30 plus shipping might be a little high, I will say. I feel like if it was 20 plus shipping, that would be a little bit more fair. Or if I could have got a discount, but I couldn't. And one reason, also, I placed my order was one of the last ones you could have made. So maybe that's one of the reasons why mine came so late. Either way, though, we have Stealth Elf now, and I really do like her. And she's like one of the only plushies I have. So... or recently got. I mean, I had plushies when I was little, but like, you know, I haven't bought a plushie of anything in so long, so it's really cool to have one of Stealth Elf. But yeah, there we are with her. And now we'll move on. We've only got a few things left. Okay, I did notice this. The tag is super cool for this. Seeing that Skylanders logo on like newer stuff is just so cool in general too. And then the thanks for collecting me Skylanders Stealth Elf, designed by Emmy or Nara, or maybe both of them. I don't know. Either way, so cool. Yeah, this is definitely going on my shelf. That is just so cool. Okay, I realized the spot I wanted to put it on my shelf, I realized I'm going to actually have to move a few things around. So I'm not going to put it on my shelf yet. I'm going to have to rearrange some stuff, and then I'll put it on there. I've got like one shelf that's got like a bunch of my random interests on it. Like there's a dinosaur shelf. There's like a gaming section, which has like some Mario stuff, some Pokemon stuff, and some other stuff. And Stealth Elf will go perfectly on that shelf once I reorganize some stuff. But yeah, so Stealth Elf, here she is once again. But I did want to show one comparison. Here she is compared to the SSA Stealth Elf figure. This actually isn't the one that you all have seen me use on the channel. This is actually the one that I got in the 3DS starter pack that I bought. So yeah, that's a good size comparison. So you can see this is a pretty good plushie. And I will say, I realized the felt, like literally, or whatever the material, like literally like flips. So that shows you, I don't know if that shows how quality it is, but yeah, I will say this is the first Youtooz like plushie, like I said, I've ever bought. And it does seem to be pretty good quality. Hello, Weenie. But yeah, pretty accurate. I mean, as far as I can tell. Yeah, I mean, looks pretty stinking good. Yeah, no complaints for me on her. The only thing, I mean, maybe her clothes could have been darker. it looks more blackish brown compared to this lighter brown that they used on the actual plushie. And then maybe you could give her her tooth claws, but they didn't do that. I mean, they did the same thing with Gil Grunt as far as that. Yeah, and I mean, maybe made her braid go to the side like it does on the figure, but I mean, she's in an action pose in her figure and she's just sitting, so yeah, I think they did pretty excellent. Definitely no issue for me. But yeah, definitely going to put her on my shelf whenever we reorganize some stuff. Okay, we are really starting to cut down on what's left. I mean, this has been a huge lot so far, but we still have a few things left even after this. But yeah, so let's just get into it. So we have, this was from this year's Nashville trip, because yeah, we always go to like Nashville or Columbus or a place like that at the end of the year. So this was the 2025 one. I actually only got one thing this year. I was going to get some, like I said, I was going to get some Amiibos, since I was going to mention, I should have mentioned that here, but just in case I forgot, I mentioned it whenever I did. But yeah, this was that same trip where I said I was going to buy 3 Amiibos, but then they said, no, those are actually full price ones, so I passed. But we went back to that McKay's, and I actually picked up like 2 or 3 Skylanders. I actually remember either this trip or the one before that, they actually had a few that I debated on getting, but the bottoms were actually not, like, this part was not on the Skylander. It was like just the top half and not that. But yeah, we got Series 3 Trigger Happy. He was the only one we got. I remember they had like 2 or 3 other figures I liked. Either they were ones I was worried I already had. I think they had like Series 3 Chill or Chop Chop. It was something that I was pretty sure I already had, so I was like, and it was like a Skylander. I know that was like sales online for like $2 to $3, so I was like, I'd rather just pass on this one. Like if it was like a $10 Skylander, I would have just bought it and then be like, we'll just have duplicates. But if it's like a cheaper Skylander, I generally won't buy the duplicate unless it's like just in a lot. Somebody's about to jump up on the table right now. Yep. Hello, Weenie. Yep, there's Weenie for you all. She's back. She's the one you all saw sitting on the table earlier, but yeah, she joins Trigger Happy. Her and Trigger Happy have a little bit of a similar design, as you all can tell. The orangish color with a little bit of a white. Yep, there she is with her buddy. But yeah, we got Series 3 Trigger Happy. Pretty happy with him. Like I said, they had a few other figures, but they were ones I was pretty sure I already had, or they were in really bad condition. It was one of the two, but he's the only one we ended up for sure getting. We actually got him and a bunch of other stuff I was there. I also, if, you know, collect some dinosaur stuff I've mentioned throughout this video and stuff, but they had a ton of really cool dinosaur figures. I haven't even uploaded that video on that channel yet either, but yeah, we got some stuff there, and then, like I said, we also got Trigger Happy, as you all can see here. This is a really cool figure too. It's actually kind of heavy feeling with his big rocket. I don't know, I assume this would be like hollow, and maybe it is, but I don't think it is. It feels pretty solid, but yeah, it looks kind of like a big egg almost from this angle, but no, it is a big rocket. But yeah, super cool figure. It's kind of cool. Oh, do we technically get Series 2 and 3? I mean, oh no, it was Series, so we got Series 3 Trigger Happy this video, and we got Series 2, Gil Grunt. And what's funny is, if you know what lock we've currently been doing, I'd also, you know, this is the first video, I can't remember if I mentioned it, but this is the first video I've recorded since, it's been like a couple months since the last video I recorded for this channel. But yeah, we still have the 2 videos left in the Randomizer Nuzlocke 2, so I still have to do the adventure packs for those videos. And yeah, the 2 Skylanders we have left are regular Trigger Happy. Okay, the video cut out because I ran out of storage on my phone. I don't know if any of you all have had that issue before, but pretty much what happens, at least in every time that this has happened to me, the video just like cuts out like 10 seconds after whatever you've said. So the last 10 seconds or so, or maybe a little more or less, give or take, from whatever I'd said last in that clip is just gone. I don't think it was anything too important though, because I think I was pretty much wrapping up whatever I was saying. But yeah, from what I can tell, the last part I was talking about was the rest of the lock we're currently on. So yeah, we've got the adventure packs left for the Randomizer Nuzlocke 2, and we have Gil Grunt and Trigger Happy left. And I did delete and clear up enough stuff that we should definitely be good for the rest of this video. Yeah, I just have to be more mindful of that for my phone and laptop, because we've had issues with that appearing for both for the channel for both ways from that. But yeah, we should be good at least for a bit. But yeah, we did get Trigger Happy, and we've only got a few things left if I didn't mention. Yeah, so let's just go on to those. So yeah, we're going to show off the last few things. Then we will, Oh, then we're going to test out the figures. Yeah. So yeah, we'll do that right now. Okay, next up we have by far the most expensive thing that was picked up in this video. This was like my big Christmas present this year. Yeah, so my parents still normally will get me like one really big gift. And this year my big gift that I chose was the big PS5. I know it's a little late to be on the PS5 train, but I still use my PS4. I got this for Christmas, and it's, well, February 6th or 7th. But yeah, I still haven't even unboxed this yet. Yeah, and luckily this works for a bunch of my channels, like my dinosaur channel. There's a dinosaur game I've been wanting to play on the PS5 that I couldn't play on the PS4. And then, obviously, like Toys to Life, there's a bunch of stuff. Like, I could play any of the Skylanders games on PS4, on PS5, and it'll just look better. Lego Dimensions. I will say, getting this was less for Toys to Life stuff, honestly, because the console that I wanted more for Toys to Life stuff is actually still the Wii U, just because there's a few Skylanders like Hammer Slam Bowser that can't be used on the PlayStation consoles, can only be used on Nintendo consoles. I personally think that was a stupid thing, but I kind of get it, but still think it was stupid, honestly. And one thing, honestly, the PlayStation Skylanders games are pretty expensive, so I might end up getting one of the PlayStation Skylanders games, but I honestly am planning, as of right now, I'd prefer to get the Wii U. I still need to get the Wii U console, though, and get the Wii U games. But Lego Dimensions, I don't know what I was about to... I only have for the PS4, so we can perfectly play Lego Dimensions on here. Disney Infinity, I only have 1.0 or the base one, the original one for the Wii. So 2.0 or 3.0 we could get and play on the PS4 because I don't think there's any like exclusives or anything for it. But yeah, so we did finally get the PS5. There's a few games I wanted to get for it. One of the big games I will show, I really want to get the college football game. I think I've mentioned this on this channel. I'm a pretty big college football fan. LSU is my favorite team. And the college football game, they just never came out for the PS4. And like I said, I'm kind of late on the PS5, obviously. I mean, this thing's been out for years. I mean, it still feels like a newer console to me. And I mean, it is the newest PlayStation, but I mean, we're way closer to the PS6 coming out than we are the PS5 being brand new. But still, I don't care as much about having the newest console. And I was waiting for a time whenever it made sense. And there's finally now enough games and enough of a reason for me to want the PS5. And I'll quickly say, the college football game not being on the PS4. And there's a few other newer games. I really wanted to play Dispatch. I'm a little late on it too, but I've seen stuff and it looked really fun. Those storyline games just seem fun to me, where you do like, you have an option and it kind of affects the rest of the game. I think that would be fun to me. And then there's like Penguin Zero is one of the people in it. So it just seems really fun as far as a lot of stuff like that. And, you know, it's got like a cool superhero vibe. Marvel Rivals, speaking of superheroes, I wanted to play. And it's a free game, so that'll be a fun one. We're actually going to have a little bit of talking about Marvel Rivals for the next figure. And I mean, we got Venom, so that could be our Marvel Rivals. But he's not actually the one I was thinking of at the time. So Marvel Rivals, Dispatch, Path of Titans is the dinosaur game I was talking about. I think you can technically play it on the PS4, but you have to have PlayStation Plus. I think PlayStation Plus is a scam. Like, how can you not just play the games online for free? And you can for certain games like Fortnite. I just think that's stupid that some games work and some don't. But Path of Titans, I'm pretty sure, is free to play online, and you don't need the PlayStation Plus. I mean, you still have to pay for the game, but you don't have to play for PlayStation Plus on the PS5. And there's just a few other things like that the 5 offers. There was a few other games I was thinking, but those were the main ones. College football game, Dispatch, Path of Titans. Dispatch might be on PS4, I'm not for sure, but Path of Titans, Marvel Rivals, a few other games. And obviously I also play Fortnite and stuff. But yeah, and we could play Skylanders. I mean, I don't know if you all think that the PS4 one's way better, because I mean, it mainly is just the Hammer Slam Bowser and Donkey Kong, but... And just the fact also, if the PS4 games were like dirt cheap, that would make a big difference. But I think they're actually some of the more expensive console games. But yeah, so I guess we'll move on from that. If you all have any recommendations for me as far as PS5 games, I'm open to whatever. We might play those on YouTube. I doubt we'll play, because I want to keep this channel mainly just Toys to Life or heavily Toys to Life inspired. Like, maybe we do like a Marvel Rivals video, and it would be because we got like a figure of a Marvel character from Disney Infinity. It would be something like that. But... because like I said, I mainly want to keep this channel Toys to Life for now, at least. But yeah, so got the PS5. So like I said, if you all have any cool recommendations, please let me know. But yeah, yeah, we've only got like 1 or 2 things left. So yeah, let's just get right into it, and then we'll finally do the testing. I can already tell this is going to be a super long video. Okay, here was one of the updates I did want to give. So we have recently actually rearranged my Skylanders collection. So yeah, here's all the stuff that's currently being worked on for the PS, or not PS, for the current lock series. Yeah, we've got Gil Grunt, and I think these are the planned adventure packs I'm going to do for these two, at least if they make it, and then Trigger Happy with these two. And we have Double Trouble out for a certain reason. And yeah, used to all my SSA and my, like, I say like my Skylanders, like the ones I originally had that were level 0 and I got them from the box or had reset them and used them. But yeah, here's all the ones that are going to be featured in this video as far as testing and the traps and everything. But yeah, used to all my like SSA and the, like I said, my main Skylanders were on here. And then, you know, we got the PS5 or PS4 for now and Switch and all that stuff. But you might be asking where those other Skylanders are that used to be on here. They're actually in this drawer. Let me pull it out. Yeah, here they are. So yeah, this is the shelf change that we did. So yeah, these are, like I said, all the ones that used to be up here. This just gives us way more space. My plan is these are like my main Skylanders, like I said, my original ones. But then as we reset Skylanders, we'll put them in here with the rest of them. But like I said, I have kept my Skylanders separated for the most part. Like there's a few exceptions, like yeah, Legendary Trigger Happy back there. You can barely see him, but a few like that we've reset. And I mean, to be honest, some of these figures are a little nasty, so they need cleaned, like the ones that I've recently gotten from like some game stores. I mean, you know, that's just kind of expected to happen with used items. So yeah, we've kind of kept them separated, but we are going to as I clean them. And I do plan on resetting these all at some point. Not the ones in here, but the ones up here that I bought from that were used. So yeah. Oh, and Double Trouble, going back to him. So why is he out? So yeah, this is my original Double Trouble. And actually what happened was, this is the first time this has ever happened to me. While I was cleaning my Skylanders, my Double Trouble figure's base popped off. And that's the first time I've actually seen the inside of like a Skylander that had all the stuff in it. So yeah, his little, like, you could see like even the little like white with a little bit of silvery looking paperish thing inside. Yeah, but his green base popped off. And I want to test him on the portal just to make sure he still works. I mean, it wasn't like chipped or anything. It's literally like the green part just popped out. And I was able to just push it back in. So, yeah, so we're just going to make sure he still works. And we'll also test all these on Swap Force. I mean, on Trap Team. Yeah, because that's the most recent one. And also, I mentioned this already, but I've been playing all my Spyro's Adventure and stuff locks just on the Trap Team portal just so I haven't had to swap it out every other time. Because, I mean, it was kind of pointless to just keep the Spyro's Adventure portal just because then we had to just keep cycling and switching through. But yeah, so we'll test out all these guys. Also make sure Double Trouble works. And then we've got one other little lot thing that I picked up after this because, yeah, I cleaned all the... I recently, like, cleaned up my room a lot better. And that's when I also moved all the Skylanders and stuff around. And then, like, all the other ones that you all have seen in videos from, like, pickups, they're just kind of scattered throughout the room on, like, bookshelves and stuff. And, yeah, once I reset them and stuff, they'll join the others and etc. All that stuff. But yeah, so yeah, we're going to show off the last lot after this. That's the last thing. Then we'll do the testing. But then, yeah, I also do want to mention, as far as the videos, after this, we're going to finish up the Randomizer Nuzlocke 2. Then we're going to start another series. And then I've just got a bunch of other cool videos planned. But yeah, that's the next log I'm really, really excited for. It's a series I've thought about doing for the longest time. Meant to do it over winter break, but just didn't get to it. But I still want to do it so bad. And I think we're going to start it very soon. And I'm so excited for it. So yeah. Let's just show off the last thing, and then let's finally do this testing. Okay, the last thing we bought, this was from a vendor's mall that's really close to, like, vendors, peddlers, whatever. I don't know the exact. There's a lot. They're kind of like flea markets where they have a bunch of booths that, like, people sell, and, like, it's one big, like, place that just has booths that multiple sellers sell from. But it's the people there don't actually sell the stuff. They just put their stuff out, and then, like, there's a register where you can just buy from multiple booths. But yeah, so this is the one I bought, actually the same exact product I'm about to show, but yeah, we'll just show it first. Well, I went through the store, and like, this was the thing that was literally yesterday, if I didn't mention. This was February 5th, and today's the 6th. But yeah, this was literally yesterday that I went in there. So I remember this part definitely the best out of anything else in this video. But I went in there. And actually, the reason I wanted to go is the time I went in there, that was like 2 or 3 years ago, they had a ton of this one item. And I was like, honestly, it was like $3. I should have bought 2 then, because then I could have just had one out of the box now. And I was like, they had like 10 or 20 of this thing. So I'll just go back in there, see if I can find another one. And I went in there, And the booth that had it the last time was either gone or didn't have it anymore. But as I went through that place, they had it in another section, and let's just show it. Bum, 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 bum. Iron Fist from Disney Infinity. I've actually already bought this exact figure at this same vendor's mall before, but this time it was actually even cheaper, and it's kind of got a funny story with it. So yeah, $250 for an in-box Disney Infinity figure. I mean, I swear, I don't think you can beat that. And this is actually the one that I was referring to with Marvel Rivals, because I'm pretty sure he was actually early on in the game in Marvel Rivals, which was kind of a surprise because, you know, Iron Fist, I mean, I don't know enough about Marvel to really know, but I don't feel like he's like one of the most popular characters, but I think he was in Marvel Rivals from the start. So yeah, we got a Iron Fist for $250. And like I said, the last time I was in there, or like the time before, it's been like 2 or 3 years, and I've only been in there like 2 or 3 times I can remember. But yeah, I went in there, and the booth that had they had like 20 of these when I was in there last time, and they were $3. So they weren't in that booth, but I kept going around the store, and then I found 3 of this one in the store. So I picked out the one I thought looked in the best condition. And as I went throughout the store more, I found a singular one at another booth and a singular one at another booth. And the one of them was $3.99, and the other was $3. But luckily, the one that had 3 of them, it was for $250. So I almost wonder if it was that same person, like they bought them off that other seller or something, because it was literally funny that it was the exact same figure that they had a ton of at one point. But yeah, we got another Iron Fist, which, like I said, this one we're probably going to open. I mean, I'll look at my other one that's in box, and maybe if this one's in better condition. And I will say the booth number I did look was different. And actually, going back to that video actually saved me from buying a repeat figure, because I was in there, and I think it's Ronan. They had a Ronan figure for $4 that was in the box, and there was only one. And then I started thinking, I was like, actually, I think I have 3 in the box Disney Infinity figures, and I know Drax and Iron Fist are 2 of them, but I honestly can't remember the other one. And then I was like, actually, I think it might be this dude. It's whichever one is the other one I bought whenever I bought Iron Fist a while ago. And then I looked on my YouTube video and saw it was him, and I was like, oh, thank God I didn't just waste. I mean, it was $4, so it wasn't going to be the end of the world. But I'm like, well, I'm glad I didn't waste $4. I mean, it would have been the end of the world because I could have opened that one or the other one, whatever. But yeah, I would have just spent $4 for a figure I already had. So I didn't do it, luckily. But earlier in the store, so let me think. I'm trying to remember. There wasn't a ton of Skylanders stuff. There was the 3 booths that had the separate Disney Infinity stuff, which they all had Iron Fist, and one had whatever the villain from Marvel, oh my gosh, what is it? The villain from Guardians of the Galaxy, like the blue face guy with like the black whatever and the big hammer. They had him, but that's the one I already had. And then another booth. This was one of the first booths I went in, and I remember this one having a decent little video game section. And I remember the last time I was in there, they didn't have any Skylanders, but they had Disney Infinity that were like in those like big sealed plastic bags. And then they also had, I remember they had Skylanders cards, but they had no Skylanders the last time I was there. But this time they had a big section of Disney Infinities. Oh, and they had Skylanders portals, I think, last time I was there. This time they still had like the Skylanders portals and stuff. And they had a bunch of other plastic bags on one side. I was like, oh, this don't look like anything. And then I went to the other side in their booth. And this was, like I said, the first booth I went in, but one of the first ones. And they actually had more Skylanders. Skylanders and Disney Infinity. They had a decent selection of in-the-box Disney Infinity, but they were not the best price. They had a few Tinkerbells. They had a Green Goblin, but he was like $10. And I looked on Mercari, and he was cheaper on Mercari in the box. They had Drax. Not Aladdin, but the girl from Aladdin, Jasmine. Yeah, I actually recently watched the live-action Jasmine, or Aladdin, whatever. It was on TV the other night, and I just watched most of it. And I feel like they might have had a few others. I took a picture in that section. And then they had a few others in, like, these plastic bags. But the ones that they had in the plastic bags, I remember there was one with, like, Iron Man and a few other Marvels. And then there was one with Brave, or whatever the girl is from Brave. And like Sorcerer Mickey, I think, and some other ones. I don't know enough about Disney Infinity. Maybe those were awesome figures that I should have bought, but I don't know enough about Disney Infinity that I just normally pick up the ones I think are cool that I like. Like, that's why I picked up Venom, because Venom I just think is super cool. And then this Iron Fist, like I said, just as cool. And I mean, in the box, you can't beat an in the box figure for $250. But then the only other thing I picked up, and this was something I kind of took a risk on, honestly, it's for $6.95. So how I was talking about those Disney Infinity figures being in plastic bags, they had one bag of Skylanders figures, and it was this one. So, and two of these figures I was 100% sure I had, and the other one I thought I might have had, but I wasn't 100% sure on. And I will say I was a little worried with this lot at first, because there was a big rip in this bag. So I don't know if there was maybe a fourth figure in here and somebody stole it, or maybe there was just a rip in this bag to begin with. But it honestly seemed like a fair price. And I think there was like sets of 3 Disney Infinity figures that were around $6.95. So I felt like it wasn't bad even if somebody did take one figure. But the 3 that are in here made it all worth it. So 2 of these, like I said, I already have. But I wasn't sure about one of them. So we'll show who it was. So first up, they had another one of these Gill Grunts, the Superchargers Gill Grunts. And then they also had his vehicle, which, like I already said, well, you already saw in this video, I already got. Much earlier in the year, though, but yeah. So now we have 2 of both of these. So I wouldn't have bought the lot if it wasn't for these 2. But then the one other figure they had, who's also from Superchargers, High Volt, I believe. But I looked on SCL. So at first I didn't pick these up. I went through the whole store. Like I said, this was one of the first booths I went in. I saw this lot and I didn't pick it up because the only figure I didn't have in the lot was High Volt. Or the only one. And I wasn't even, I thought I might have had him because like I said, I remembered picking up a lot of Superchargers figures. And I think I might have seen him in store once maybe, but I didn't buy him at the time. So I didn't pick it up at first. And then I went through the whole store. And I picked up Iron Fist the second I saw him because I was like $250, and that was one of the main reasons I went, was because I thought I could find him for cheap if they still had any of him left, and they did, luckily, but not even in the booth I was going for. But so High Volt, like I said, they had, so like I said, these were like $6.95 for the 3, so it was a really good price. I mean, less than $3 for these 3. Yeah, I mean, it was a great price, but I already had these 2, so I didn't plan on getting it at first. And like I said, I thought there was a chance I had High Volt because I remembered I picked up a decent lot of Superchargers, but I couldn't remember if I picked him up. But I looked on SCL, and he was like $6 on his own, and he was out of stock on SCL. So I was like, yeah, I should probably just get him. And especially, so I was like, I'm for sure going to get Iron Fist, and I'll get either the set of the Skylanders and the one other Disney Infinity figure, or maybe I'll get both of them. I kind of debated on it. But after I realized I for sure had the one Disney Infinity figure, I'm like, yeah, let's just for sure get the other Skylanders figures. It came out to like $10.02 for all this, though, so not bad at all. But yeah, we got him. Like I said, I did not have him. Was not for sure about that. If I knew I for sure didn't have him, I probably would have definitely bought the lot. But yeah, now we have 2 of the Gill Grunts and 2 of the vehicles. So not too upset about that, honestly, because like I said, I kind of like having duplicates anyways because, you know, eventually we're going to need them. Okay, so let's see if there's any differences. I like to look for differences. Okay, one thing automatically. There's a spot on this one's ear. I don't know if that's something like chocolate or something, or if his is just paint chip, but he's also got a little spot on his hand. Oh, his pick, or his trident seems to be like more dulled on the color. Oh, wait. Oh, and speaking of, this one has a brown spot on the trident, but that's not that figure. Oh, the water for this one, you can see the water looks very different. This one's a way more, like, I won't say bluey blue, but this one's way more faded looking. So yeah, we can tell them apart pretty well. Yeah, the one with the brown ear was the one in this lot. And now let's compare the vehicles. That's one thing. I don't know if the vehicles have like pathways or anything, but yeah, we've got 2 of this vehicle now. So this is the one. Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to tell much on the vehicles. That is a cool vehicle, though. Yeah, I can't really tell much on these. We'll definitely have to just test them out at some point. And I don't even know if I grabbed the right one or not. I mean, I'll be able to look back on the video and tell. But yeah, so we got another one of him. We won't be able to test these ones once again. But yeah, that's it for the figures. We'll do the testing portion now, and I can't wait to see how all this goes right now. Okay, now for the testing section. So yeah, if you only watch this video to see what Skylanders we picked up, you are more than free to go. Yeah, one funny thing, yeah, Trap Team, we've not played it once on the channel. Every time we put in Trap Team, it's just for testing purposes so far. So yeah, definitely need to actually play Trap Team again at some point. It's been so long since I've actually played Trap Team. Wow, 2014. So yeah, this game is 12 years old. That's crazy. Yeah, we've only played Trap Team once. 31% on the story mode roster. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I beat the game in this. Fairly sure, at least. Oh, I'm a little worried on the testing. Honestly, the one I'm the most concerned about is honestly just about Double Trouble, because I would hate so bad if he quit working. So let's test him first. Please work. Boom. Yes, so our Double Trouble still luckily works. And like I said, his base literally popped off. Okay, so we're going to put him in with the OGs so we don't mix him up. Yeah, that would be bad if we accidentally put him in the reset stack. Okay. Trigger happy. Big Bang trigger happy. Level 11, so yeah, we will have to reset him. Yeah. Okay. Let's go with the minis. They're a fun pick. Hijinks, okay. Level 1, never played. Perfect. We won't have to reset Hijinks. Not even a single coin. I was going to say, she didn't come off the portal though. Let's see if I Small is the same way.
I got my eye on you.
Okay, I Small's the same way. So either whoever sold these reset them, or I don't know. Okay, Chopper. Chopper is one I always liked, but have just recently gone. Oh, he's got a hat, so he's definitely been used. Level 16. Wow. Okay, let's go Mini Fry, I believe. Small Fry. Does he have a hat? Okay, so Small Fry has been used. I'll really clean off the ones that haven't been reset anyways. Okay, let's try the other Hex. Series 2 Hex. Level 2, so not much. Yeah, it was funny. We got Hex and whatever little mini Hex. We got her at the same store. I think we got this Hex later on though, but that is kind of cool that we got them from the same store. Okay, let's try Prison Break. That's a really cool one. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's one of his upgrades or, oh, he's level 1, level 0. Oh, and these were from the same lot. But he was also from that lot. Okay, I definitely want to try to look at that lot for sure now. Okay, I know he was from the same lot, because I want to see if half of these are reset. Fist Bump, that's his name. Oh, Fist Bump's maxed out. Okay, he's very opposite. Okay. Let's try Eruptor, actually. He was one that I got in that one thing, so. Series 2 Eruptor. Okay, I honestly thought he might have been one that was reset or never used, actually, because, well, his figure looks awesome. There's no paint damage. And it said he was brand new on the one thing, so I don't know. Maybe they reset him, or I don't know. But he's in great condition, too, so, yeah. We'll go. Actually, this is another one I really want to test, the Swapper. Because the Swappers, I'm always worried with their, well, with their swapping mechanic. I don't know. I always get worried, so. Free Ranger. Okay, and that's for sure his base, yeah. So he's level 7. Looks like he's got the hat that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Witch has. Dark Magician, or the girl one. I can't remember her name. I haven't watched enough Yu-Gi-Oh! To really know, but we'll try Smolder Dash. That's another cool one. Series 1 Smolder Dash. Okay, so there's a Series 2 Smolder Dash then, if it says that. Oh, a max out Skylander. Another max out one. So Fist Bump and her were from the same game. Same owner, I believe. Okay, Slobbertooth. Yeah, Slobbertooth. Series 1, did they make a Series 2 Slobbertooth? Or do they all just say that and I just now real? Wait, 6 Fire Element. Oh, that must be behind. Okay, yeah, okay, it was behind. So level 5. Okay, we'll try Gilgrunt now. Series 2 Gilgrunt looks the exact same in game right now. And he's only level 2. Okay. We'll try Zulu now. Level 9. So far, you know what's crazy? In all these times I've done these videos where I've checked old Skylanders, I'm yet, so far, and I don't know if I'm just lucky or if they actually just are this well, I'm yet to have one Skylander that has not functioned. So, I don't know, people I know have always had worries, and even myself, I'll be honest, has had worries about these messing up over the time, but most of the time I get figures that look in better condition, and I'm yet to have one that hasn't worked. And maybe if I've gotten ones that were in worse condition, maybe I would have had issues, but, and I mean, I might jinx myself and the next 4 might not work, but Series 2 Terrafin. Oh, okay, the Wii remote. Okay, perfect. Series 2 Terrafin. I got worried that he didn't work, but I was like, it got through the one screen, so I don't know. But yeah, it was the Wii remote. Okay. Legendary Deja Vu.
Did that just happen?
Deja Vu, okay, she's a reset one. Deja Vu's just such a cool Skylander. Deja Vu, that's just such a cool like phenomenon thing. And to make a Skylander named after it, and I guess themed around it, it just seems super cool. Okay, two of the biggest Skylanders we got in this lot. Kaboom. Is he also going to be reset, I wonder? Yes, okay, interesting. Which makes me think that Lob-Star, definitely makes me think Lob-Star will be reset as well because, well, he came from the same person, I assume, that had both of those. So is it Winterfest, I believe? Yeah, Winterfest Lob-Star. Reset as well, interesting. Okay, so far, oh wait, I forgot. We'll keep him on the portal. We have to test our 2 traps. I forgot about them. We'll save the Chaos Trap for last. Yeah, that's the one you want to end on. And I'm also interested with these traps to see if there's something in them. Bad Juju. Okay. I did not realize Bad Juju was Air, to be honest. Okay, now we got to see the big one. Does the Chaos Trap work, and is Chaos in it? Oh. Oh, he's got a hat too. There we go. Okay, I'm actually thrilled with that. So yeah, we have all the Skylanders worked, including Chaos. Yes, we take that as a complete W. That is awesome, yeah. So we've got a fun group now. One thing that I am considering, and I mean, if we do this, we'll probably use regular Lob-Star. I'm considering doing a lock where we use, well, I first want to do it with all the Giants because I think I have all the Giants right now, but all Trap Masters are an all Giants lock. Please let me know what you all think on that. I think that would be a fun series. Not the series I'm planning to do like next, but yeah. Well, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. I don't want to extend this video much longer since it's already going to be such a long video, but yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I think this is going to be a really fun video. These lot videos are always fun. It's been so long since I've done one, so let me know what your favorite thing we picked up was. Honestly, I'm not even for sure. But yeah, this is over a year's worth of Skylanders and Toy Slot pickups. I think this was a super fun haul. Yeah, I'd love to know what your favorite thing we got was. Okay, I'm actually recording this little portion after the testing part, but I did just want to show this off now. So I did just want to show off some of the pictures from the thrift store Skylanders. And like I said, I am recording this after the testing part, but I did just want to show this off. I was just going to show the images on screen at points, but I thought it would be better just to add context like this. So yeah, this was the Ronan that I literally almost bought, but then I went and looked at the YouTube video and looked in the Disney Infinity playlist, and then I saw, oh, we literally have that exact figure. Like I said, $3.99 for an inbox figure would not have ended the world or anything, but still, there's no point to get a repeat of one that I already have in box, especially because, you know, maybe somebody else needs that figure in box that'll find it. So yeah, and then yeah, oh yeah, that was the one too where the Iron Fist was $3. Then they had this one for $3.99. That was in another booth. And then, yeah, there's the one I got that was $2.50. But the one that I got was $2.50. They also had 2 more that were $2.50. So there's 5 Iron Fists, or 4 left now in that store. So yeah, somebody can get a way better deal on one. Oh, there's something funny. 2 Tsum Tsums. My sister used to collect those. I took a picture of those to send to her. Oh yeah, and here's the Disney Infinity, where this was the booth that has the most video games and stuff in the section. And those the Skylanders I got were the only Skylanders figures. I think they had some portals and stuff, but I have all the portals I really want. And I know you can do decent on portals if you're wanting to sell, because like the Xbox ones or whatever. But yeah, there's some of the Disney Infinity figures you can see. Tinkerbell. What's her face from Aladdin, the girl, and that one in the floor, if you can barely see it down there, that's also her. I can't think of her name. There's Drax, another Tinkerbell, and Green Goblin's the one in the back with the Spider-Man logo. Yeah, I think that's all. Oh yeah, and then there's at my college campus earlier in the day. Yeah, there was 2 cardinals. If you know, you know with cardinals. The male ones are the red one and the female ones are the brown one. But yeah. Yeah, so now you all can see the actual testing. I'm pretty happy with how it all went. So yeah, you all can see the testing now. Okay, that clip before I ended up deciding to just flip it, just so it'd be in order when I recorded it. And I did also just want to add this, so I thought might as well just put it at the end anyways. So yeah, the one part showing off, showing off the part where I showed the figures that I got at the end in store and like the ones that I debated on getting. Yeah, I ended up flipping that to the end as you all saw. But the thing I did want to also mention, they did have one other little area of Skylanders in the store. They had like a section that just had a bunch of random toys in like cases. And I looked through it, and at first I didn't notice anything. There was some stuff that I thought almost looked like Disney Infinity that were like Disney figures on bases, but they weren't Disney Infinity. But then as I looked through it, I found a few Skylanders in it, but they were all ones I already had, and they were all pretty common ones. It was Trigger Happy, the original one, like this one. And then Bouncer, which as far as Giants, I think besides T-Rex, he's probably one of the more common ones. I might be wrong on that, but I feel like that's the case. And then the only other figure, they had one from Swap Force, but it's the Knight, whatever, the one from the starter pack, the Fire Knight from the starter pack. Yeah, so not a ton of Skylanders. Yeah, I bought there was 6 Skylanders I found in the whole store, and I bought 3 of them, but I mean, they came in a bag together. But yeah, so we did pretty good, I feel like. But yeah, that's it for the video actually now. Thank you all so much for watching once again. Hopefully the next one of these lot collection style videos, or this isn't a collection style video. I actually plan on doing a video showing off the whole collection more in detail and stuff. But yeah, these lot style videos where we get Skylanders, Disney Infinity, Amiibo, Lego Dimensions, whatever. We still haven't got a Lego Dimensions thing on this channel yet, but that type of stuff, next time we do it, hopefully it's not going to be a whole year's worth of stuff. I mean, unless you all just really like the style, maybe we can just pick up stuff over a while, accumulate a big amount, and then do a video like this. I'm open to that, because this was a really fun video doing it like this. But if we pick up more stuff, obviously I don't want to do like 1,000 figures in one video. I mean, we won't do that much, but yeah. And especially because, I mean, I know Skylanders are getting a little harder to get, but you know, we might do ones that like we pick up more like easier to get Disney Infinity, Amiibos, whatever that I like. And then it'll be like just really good Skylanders, or like harder to get ones that I just haven't got yet. Because just the truth is, you know, these figure haul videos, it's just going to be harder to do Skylanders since I've got a lot of the easier to get ones. I mean, there's still a lot of easier to get ones that I haven't got, but for like in store and just a lot of my local stores, like I've said, just have been a little harder to find Skylanders figures. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's going to be harder to do a big Skylanders lot video because, like I said, and I haven't picked up all the ones I could have got probably, but still, this is over a year's worth of pickups. And like I said, I've not been as actively looking really as, you know, when I really want to, but still, that's kind of what I'm just getting to. You know, we've got a lot of the easier to get ones at this point, so yeah, it's more going to be stuff like this that we'll need to find. But still, like Disney Infinity, we're just scratching the surface of. The same with the other 2. So yeah, there's a lot to get into with Toys to Life. But Skylanders, I mean, and there's still a ton of Skylanders to get, but like I said, it's starting to get the harder ones to get and stuff like that we'll have to hunt for on eBay, Mercari, etc., I think. But I love going to thrift stores and stuff like this, and because, I mean, you know, I picked up High Volt literally yesterday, who I hadn't picked up yet in a store, so who knows. But yeah, love picking this stuff up and making videos like this. So yeah, if you all enjoy these type of videos, and yeah, please let me know, do you all like me doing more frequent ones, or do you all like this like big over a year's worth video? Because I'm open to whatever. And please let me know, like, if you all want to see more Disney Infinity figures, Skylanders, Amiibo, whatever, please let me know. Youtooz even, yeah, whatever I'm open to. But that's it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I am out, actually, now. Okay, actually, one last minor thing. I did just want to show off what the shelf looked like when I first cleaned everything. So, yeah, the desk, used to, the whole thing was covered in Skylanders figures and stuff. And actually, the Wii used to be closer to the PlayStation, I think. Yeah, it was. But I've made it now where there's more of like an open in the middle. So, yeah, we could put figures there. I honestly thought about putting like Wii games between it, but to kind of block out those cords a little too. I'm not for sure, but yeah, I did just want to show this off here at the end. But yeah, this is what it looked like before we put all those figures on for testing. And yeah, that's what it looks like more visible. Yeah, did want to show one other little minor thing. You can see Bash with his buddy. Oh, yeah, Bash and Flash. That would have been another good pairing one if they want to do more of the pairs for oh my gosh, what game am I, or not game, for the Youtooz, yeah, those two, or the one I liked, Stealth Elf and Flameslinger. That's honestly one thing, I think a pairing lock would be so fun. Either I could do like sets, or like I use like the twos, like I could do that in Giants easily. Use Bash and Flashwing, use Stealth Elf and Flameslinger, Spyro, Cinder, like some combinations like that. Or, you know, if I could get somebody else to play with me, we could have to use both of those at the same time. And maybe we would do like the rule, I don't know, I've heard some people do this in Pokemon where it's like, if one knocks out, the other has to knock out. I don't know. I've thought about doing like a couples lock for a while, though. Not something I really think would work for me anytime soon, unfortunately. But something we might could do in the future that I think would be really fun. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. And I am out now. For real, hopefully.